Hi, my name is Debra R. Richardson of Debra R. Richardson LLC, and I work with you to help you clean up your vendor data, clean up your vendor processes, and pay the right vendor. This week's Vendor Master File tip of the week is it's time for a 1-year review of your vendor team's work from home process. So there are 3 things. The first is to review your security roles and access. Now, least privilege access for vendors means that you only give access to your vendor master file to those team members that absolutely need access and no one else. So, in the rush to set up employees at home and get your vendors paid, did you give access to the vendor master file to employees who were able to work from home and were brought on to help out because of that, but may not have been on your team and have now returned to their original team? Or if your business slowed or changed, did employees who had access to the vendor master file leave or were terminated? Number 2 is your vendor policy. Now, the vendor policy tells your internal employees and your vendors how to do business with you. Now, many of you I know require vendors to accept ACH payments to avoid having to generate, sign, distribute vendor checks. Did you update your vendor policy to document that requirement and get leadership to sign off on it? Now, the third one is desktop procedures. Now, desktop procedures tell your employees how to process vendor requests. And the best practice for your desktop procedures is to not only include your processes, but also the roles that are required and the tools that you use so that you can smoothly onboard a new team member. So, did you change your processes because of the pandemic and working from home? How about the tools that you use? Zoom, Microsoft Teams, maybe an email tool to scan emails received to mitigate the increased social engineering email fraud that we've seen since this whole thing has begun. Maybe you need a new separate desktop procedure for that tool or tools. Now, make sure you go to my website at debrarrichardson.com and click free resources. There will be a link in the description to download a desktop procedure template if you need that. So if you would like more information on how to combat fraud, please go to my website at debrarrichardson.com for free tools and resources to avoid fraud, regulatory fines, and bad vendor data. Good luck, and don't forget to tune in next Tuesday for next week's Vendor Master File Tip of the Week.